Good morning, students. In my last video, I have solved the problems of exercise 6.1 and many basic terms like it may be a vertical opposite angles, it may be adjacent angles, it may be linear pair of angles, the linear pair axiom, lot of things we have studied in the previous video. Before I start the next concept, those who have not seen my earlier videos, video 1, 2, 3, you complete those. Okay? Then you can start this so that it will be easy for you to understand. And today, in this session, I am going to teach you about the parallel lines and its transversal. First of all, I should tell you what are parallel lines and what is a transversal. My dear children, you know very well what is a parallel lines. What are parallel lines? The lines whose distance is uniform when you extend on both sides. So anywhere if the distance between the perpendicular distance between the two straight lines are constant, then those two straight lines are called as parallel lines. Or you can say the two straight lines which do not meet even though they extended on infinite to the distance to a very long distance. Okay, if they do not meet each other, then those two lines we call them as a parallel lines. But I will start. What are transversal? So my heading is the parallel lines and transversal. Parallel lines and transversal. I am not going to tell you what are again parallel lines. You can remember this much. Two or more lines. It is not necessary that parallel means there must be only two lines. Two or more lines, okay, whose distance is constant even though they extended on both sides. Then those lines are called as parallel lines. Let me tell you what is a transversal. What is a transversal? Transversal is a line which intersects two or more lines, at distinct points. But together, distinct means different. Distinct means different. Distinct points. Let me draw a figure for you so that it is easy for you to understand. I will draw. These are the two parallel lines. I will take these are the two parallel lines. I will call this as line X. I will call this as line Y. These are my two parallel lines. And I draw another line here. This line I will call it as line L. Line L, see, the line which intersects two or more lines. It intersects two or more lines at distinct points, at different points. See, this line L intersects line X at point M and it intersects line Y at point N. It intersects at two distinct points. Then this is called as a transversal. My dear children, one point you have to notice here. When we talk about a transversal, the lines need not to be parallel. It need not to be parallel. Even though the lines are not parallel, then also we call it as a transversal. Don't get confused. For example, if I draw one line like this, I will call it as line P. One line I will draw here. This is line Q. See, they are not parallel. And I will draw one line here. I will call it as line L. And if I ask you, what is line L? You should say line L is a transversal. Because what my statement is, transversal is a line which intersects two or more lines. They have not told two or more parallel lines. It must be straight lines, that's all. So one thing I want to tell you, the question of transversal comes even though the lines are parallel or the lines are not parallel. Both the cases, we can call this as a transversal. So transversal is a line which intersects two or more lines. I can draw one more line here. Two or more lines. I will call it as line R. See, two or more lines at distinct points. At distinct point, different points. I will call it as point A, point B, point C. So line L is called as a transversal. Okay. We will proceed further. This is very important point to be noticed in that. Okay. Now, what happens? When a parallel line is intersected by a transversal, listen very carefully. I can say when two parallel lines intersected by a transversal, or if a transversal intersects two parallel lines, how many angles are formed? How many angles are formed? There are totally 8 angles are formed. Let me mark them. Angle 1, angle 2, angle 3, angle 4, angle 5, angle 6, angle 7, and angle 8. See, when a transversal intersects two lines, it can be a parallel lines, it can be non-parallel lines, whatever the case it may be, whatever the case it may be. But I have taken in the case of a parallel lines. Okay, 8 angles are formed. Okay, now let me tell you what are the different types of angle formed and how they are related to each other. Let me draw on a table and I will explain you. What are the different types of angles? I will I will write here what is the angle. Okay, and my third column is here. Okay, let me listen very carefully. Okay, I will write here name of the angle. Name of angle. Okay, and here I will tell okay, name of the angle, their number, and how they are related, relation. See, first let me tell you name of the angle. I will write here. First let me tell you corresponding angles. Corresponding angles. In this, which are the corresponding angles? See, let me tell you corresponding angles. Angle 1 and angle 6 are corresponding angles. Their number, angle 1 and angle 6. This is interior. Inside the two lines is called as interior angles, but alternate. See, one this side, one this side. But I can't say these two because they are already linear pair. They are not alternate interior angles. These two are called as alternate interior angles. Angle 3 and angle 6, they are numbers. They are numbers. Angle 3 and angle 6. Angle 3 and angle 6 are called alternate interior angles. Likewise, one more pair is there. Angle 4 and angle 5. Angle 4 and angle 5 is also alternate interior angles. See how they are related. How they are related? These two are always equals to each other. These two are always equals to each other. They are not equal. I can say alternate interior angles are equals to each other. Equals to each other. They are equals to each other. This is the second group of angles. The third one, the name is alternate exterior angle. Alternate exterior angle. The name itself says alternate exterior. This was interior angles. Now we are going for exterior. That means outside. But alternate. Alternate means one this side, one this side. One this side, one this side. I can say angle 2 exterior, angle 7. These two are called as alternate exterior. Come on. Angle 2 and angle 7. Likewise, can you tell me one more? Angle 1 and angle 8. Angle 1 and angle 8 are alternate exterior angles. How they are related? Alternate exterior angles. Alternate exterior angles are equals to each other. Equals to each other. They are equals to each other. The alternate exterior angles are equals to each other. These are the three different types of angles. We have one more type of angle. I will write here. The next type of angle is called name of the angle interior angles. Interior angles. Interior angles. Okay. It is also called as, I can say, consecutive interior angles. Consecutive interior angles. Consecutive interior angles. This is the name of the angle. This is also called as, aligned angles. Aligned angles. Aligned angles. Okay. Which are the aligned angles or consecutive interior? See, name itself says they are interior but consecutive. See, this is interior. These are called as alternate interior angles, and these are called as aligned angles or consecutive interior angles. I will write angle 3 and angle 5. Consecutive interior angles or aligned angles, and 4 and 6. Angle 4 and angle 6. How they are related? This is the point to be noticed. They are not equals to each other. They are supplementary. They are supplementary. They are supplementary. What do you mean by supplementary? I will write here. Sum is 180. Sum is equals to 180. These are the different types of angles. See, to each other. Only these consecutive interior angles are supplementary and the sum is 180. See here, sum of these two is equals to 180. Sum of these two is equals to 180. But these two are equals to each other. Those two are equals to each other. Consecutive interior angles or allied angles. This is also called by another name. I will write or. They are also called as co-interior angles. Co-interior angles. All meaning the same. You can call them as a consecutive interior angles or co-interior angles or allied angles. One and the same. But only thing what is to be noticed, all these angles are equals to each other. Only these co-interior angles or allied angles are only supplementary. Supplementary means the sum of those two angles is equals to 180. My dear children, before I start any problems on this, just I would like to tell you one important thing. And many of the students are making mistakes in this. See, if I draw a figure like this, I will draw just rough figure I will draw. See, these are the two non-parallel sides. Those are the two non-parallel sides, and this is a transversal. Okay. Here also 8 angles are formed. I will call it an angle 1, angle 2, angle 3, angle 4, angle 5, angle 6, angle 7, and angle 8. And if I ask you, what type of angles are these? Can I call them as a alternate interior angles? Can I call them as alternate interior angles? And many of the students are telling that no, because they are always thinking that these angles are formed only when the lines are parallel. No, my dear children, if the lines are parallel or lines are not parallel, these are called by the same name. These are called as alternate interior angles. These are called as alternate exterior angles. These are called as co-interior angles. Everything is same. But what makes the difference? The relation makes the difference. Relation makes the difference. The name of the angles are same. These their numbers are also same. No changes. But the relation changes. I have written here corresponding angles are equal only when the lines are parallel. If the lines are not parallel, I can call them as a corresponding angles. I can call these two as corresponding angles. I can call these two as corresponding angles. I can call them as an alternate interior angles. Names are same, but the relation is a difference. And I can't say angle 4 and angle 6 are equals to each other. No, they are equal, or they are supplementary only when the lines are parallel. This is a very, very important point to notice. Lines are parallel or lines are not parallel. You can call them as corresponding angles. They are angles you can mark. They are corresponding angles or they are alternate angles, but they are not equals to each other. They are not supplementary to each other. But you can call those angles as. See, if I ask you, what are angle 1 and 7? Definitely you can say they are the alternate exterior angles. If I ask you, are they equal? Then you will see. If the lines are parallel, you can say they are equal. If the lines are not parallel, they are not equal. But children, one very, very important correction I have not noticed when I was rubbing the board. I have noticed it. The transversal spelling is not E will not. It is transversal. Okay? Sorry. You make these necessary changes in your notebook. Transversal. Okay, look at this problem. Very, very simple problem. What is given? I will call this as line M and this is line N. It is given that line M is parallel to line N and Q is a transversal. Q is transversal. Okay. Find A, B, C and D. Find A, B, C. Okay. I can give them name if you want. I can give it as otherwise also we can do it. This is 110. This is 110. See, now you know so many angles. If I start from earlier, you know linear pair, you know vertical opposite angles, and today 4 angles I have taught. All these angles. Today's 4 angles. Which are the 4 angles? It is which are the 4 angles I told you? Corresponding angles, alternate interior angles, alternate exterior angles, and co-interior angle. Apart from these 4, you should remember about the vertical opposite angles. You should remember about the linear pair of angles. That will be sufficient for you. Okay. But keep in mind, in all these angles, all angles are equal except 2. Except 2. The first one is linear pair, sum is 180. And co-interior angles, sum is 180. Okay. Likewise, co-exterior is also 1. I have not told you that angle. That is sufficient. Okay. Come on. Shall I start like this? This plus this is equals to 180 because linear pair of angles. I will start like this. I can start like this. 110 plus B is equals to 180. 110 plus B is equals to 180. This is because linear pair axiom. Linear pair axiom. My dear children, these problems can be solved in many ways. See, one of them, you can add these two also. This is also linear pair axiom 180, or this is also I can take anyway. Though I can say therefore angle B is equals to 180 minus 110. Therefore B is equals to 70 degree. 1 angle got. B is equal to 70. I got this angle as 70 degree over. Now you see, when this angle is 70, what about this angle? These are called as what? Vertically opposite angles. Okay? Or you can come directly here also. What are these two? These are called as corresponding angles. They are equal. When this is 70, this is also 70 degree. I can write B is equals to C. B is, I can say angle B is equals to angle C. This is angle B is equal to 70. Okay. Angle B is equals to angle C. This is because vertically opposite angles, and you know that they are equals to each other. Therefore, angle C is equals to. Therefore, angle C is equals to 70 degree. Angle C is equals to 70 degree. Okay. Now I got this is also 70. Now let us go from A. You can find A in 2 different ways. See, either you can take these two. They are called as corresponding angles, or you can go to these. These are called as alternate interior angles. Corresponding angles are also equals to each other. Alternate interior angles are also equals to each other. So when this is 70, this is also 70. When this is 70, this is also 70. You can take it any way. All are correct. I will write angle B is equals to angle A. But reason should be pukka. Right? Listen properly. Angle B is equals to angle A. This is because what? Because of what? Corresponding angles. Corresponding angles. They are the corresponding angles. And we know out of these two angle B is 70, you know. So I can say therefore angle A is also 70 degree. 3 angles we got. Now I want angle D I got. See, angle D I can make it so many different ways. Come on, how? See, these two are called as what? Corresponding angles. Corresponding angles, right? So corresponding angles are equals to each other. I can take these two also. They are called vertically opposite angles. Vertically opposite angles. Okay. So you can take these two also. They are called as alternate exterior angle. They are also equals to each other. When this is 70, this is also 70. Either from here or from here or from here. Anywhere you can take, you are getting the answer as same. I will write next you should know what type of angles they are. They are called as corresponding angles, because corresponding angles, and you know that corresponding angles are equals to each other. Out of these two, which angle is known to you? Angle C is 70, you know. We can say therefore angle D is also 70 degrees. That is the end of the problem. But children, by chance, if I ask you, find this angle, and if I mark this as an E, see there are plenty of ways to solve this problem. Take these two. Sum of these two is equals to 180, linear pair axiom. So when this is 110, when this is 70, this is 110. This is 110. You can take these two. Sum is 180, linear pair axiom, and this is 70. This is also this is 110. You can take these two angles are equal because of vertically opposite angles, and this is 110. This is also 110. See, there are plenty of ways. You can take these two angles, co-interior angles. See, what is A? Angle A is 70. Co-interior angle, sum is 180. 70 means this is 110. There are plenty of ways to solve the problem. My dear children, this is another problem. But before I explain you about this problem, again one small correction for you. Here, whenever they have given like angle B and C, don't use this angles. Okay? No doubt they are angles only, but you can better write lines. B is equals to C. Therefore, C is equals to 70 degree. B is equals to A. A is equals to 70 degree. C is equals to D. D is equals to 70. So when you can use the angle signs like this, XMB, DNM, in that case you can use angle sign. But when you are doing like this, don't use angle A and angle B. Okay, let us come back to the question. So this is the necessary changes you can make in your notebook. Okay, we will. Yes, we start. What is the question? Now this time I have given you alphabets. Okay. Line AB and line CD are parallel to each other. They are parallel to each other. Okay. And XY is a transversal. XY is a transversal which intersects at M and N. Okay. What is given? A is to B is 5 is to 4. The ratio of these two angles are given. Then they ask you find angle M and C. Where is angle M and C? C. This angle has to be found. Angle C and Y. Angle C and Y. This angle has to be found. I will mark with different color. This angle has to be found. And they ask you to find angle M and D. M and D. Okay. M and D. This angle has to be found. Okay. I can add one more. Find this angle also. What is this angle? BMN. I will add angle BMN. Also can be found. Okay. How to start? These two angles ratio is given 5:4. My dear children, what type of angles are these two? They are called as a linear pair of angles, and their sum is always 180. That is linear pair. Axiom. Right. A plus B is equals to 180 degree and not angle A, angle B. No. A plus B is equals to 180. This is because of linear pair axiom. But we don't know what are these angles. But the ratio is known. I will write before that. I will write here. Let A is equals to 5x degree. See, A is to B is equals to 5 is to 4. These are the ratios. But when you go to the individual angle, I have to put one x, 5x degree, and let B is equals to 4x degree. These are called as ratios, and these are called actual angles. Okay. We have to put xx whenever ratio is given. We have to add one xx before the along with these ratios 5 to 4. So each angle is 5x and 4x. Okay. A plus B is equals to 180. That means 5x plus 4x is equals to 180. 9x is equals to 180. X is equals to 180 by 9. now you can start. And this is 100, this is 80. Which angle you can find first? Can I find this angle first? Vertically opposite angles. I will write like this. See, I will write like this. B is equals to angle BMN. See, whichever angle I am writing, that alphabet should come in the middle. See, how to read this angle? BMN or NMB. This alphabet should come in the middle. B is equals to, I use the symbol angle BMN. This is because why they are equals to each other? They are equals to each other because they are the vertically opposite angles. Because of vertically opposite angles. Which angle is known to you? B is known. B is 80. Therefore, angle BMN is equals to 80 degree. One angle is known to you. Reasons are very, very important. Okay? Write it very systematically. Okay. This angle is known to 80. This also I got it as 80 degree. Okay. Now let me find this angle. Which angle? What is the name of this? MNC. MNC. You have to find this angle? MNC. MNC. See, this angle can be found in two different ways. From here to here, corresponding angle. Here to here, corresponding angle. Though they are equal. This is 80, this is 80. You can take these two angles. They are called alternate interior angles. They are also equals to each other. And this is 80. This is also 80. I will choose the alternate interior angles now. I will write angle BMN. Angle BMN is equals to angle MNC. Is equals to angle MNC. This is because I can say alternate interior axiom or alternate interior angles. So I can say they are called as alternate interior angles. Okay, and know that they are equals to each other. Which angle is known to you? Which angle is known to you among these two? BMN is known. This is 80. That means this is also 80. Therefore, angle MNC is also 80 degree. That is the end of this part. Now we have this. For this, there are three different ways. Come on. Here to here, corresponding angle. They are equals to each other. When it is 100, this is also 100. You can take these two angles. They are called a linear pair of angles. When this is 80, this is 100. You can take these two angles. They are called as co-interior angles or consecutive interior angles. The sum is 180. When this is 80, this is 100. Anyway, you can choose, but I will choose this because this is a new type of solutions. I will take this. Okay. How to write? I will write like this. Angle BMN. Angle BMN plus angle MND. See, this plus this. BMN, this angle. MND, this angle. MND is equals to 180. The reason? Co-interior angles. You know that co-interior angles, the sum is 180. Okay? Which angle is known to you? BMN is known. How much? 80. BMN 80 degree plus angle MND is equals to 180. You can find angle MND. Therefore, angle MND is equals to 180 minus 80. Answer is 100 degree. Okay. You got this angle as 100. Earlier you got this angle as 80. Last one is left out. There are plenty of ways. Come on. Linear pair of angles. When this is 80, this is 100. You can take these two as what? Vertically opposite angles. This is 100, this is 100. You can take these two as alternate exterior angles. They are equals to each other. When this is 100, this is also 100. You can take it anyway you can take. What I can take? I will take alternate exterior angles. Okay. I will write A is equals to angle. A is equals to angle this angle. Alternate. See, they are called alternate interior they are called alternate exterior. And A is equals to CNY, angle CNY. This is because of alternate exterior angles. Alternate exterior angles. Which angle is known to you? A is known. How much? 100 degree. Therefore, you can say angle CNY is also equals to how much degree? 100 degree. That is the end of the problem. This is how the problems can be solved. My dear children, we'll stop our session here. Tomorrow when we meet, we'll solve more number of problems based on parallel lines and transversal. Till then, goodbye. Take rest. Stay at home.